Hello and welcome back to this video where we're going to be covering additional features of slices. Today we'll be talking about emptying a slice, slicing a slice, and converting slices to arrays and arrays to slices. Let's get right into it. Let's start with emptying a slice. Here I have a variable called slice, and it's equal to a slice of ints, and it's going to initially hold the numbers 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and have a print statement just to print this out. So we'll say before, and then if we want to empty out the slice or clear it, we can use the built-in function clear and pass in the slice. So let's take our print statement up here, throw it down here and modify it a little bit, and let's go ahead and run this. So we can see that we started out with a slice of 1, 2, 3, and then we decided to clear it, which then sets everything within the slice to its 0 value. Now when you go to append to this slice, so here I'll do a slice equals append with the slice, and we are going to add 10. It's going to add it to the end of the slice. Let's stick this print statement here and we'll do a part 2. Now run it again and we'll see that we got 0, 0, 0 and then 10 was appended to it. So if you actually want to put that 10 at the very beginning, you're going to have to do an index. So you'll have to say slice sub 0 is equal to 10 if you want to actually start putting things at the beginning of the slice. Now let's talk about copying a slice into another. So at the top here, I have slice 1 containing 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to have a second slice that is just going to be set equal to an int slice. Let's print out what happens when I try to copy it over using the copy function. So if we want to copy, there's a built-in function, just literally named copy. We give the destination to copy the elements into, so that would be slice 2. And then we give the source of the copying, which is coming from slice 1. So let's print out slice 2, give %v with the new line and do slice 2, save and run this. And we'll see that slice 2 is empty. Now you might think, okay, this didn't actually copy slice 1 over into slice 2. What the copy function is actually doing is it copies the minimum length of either of the two slices. So since there is no length here for slice 2, it will copy 0 elements from slice 1. So if you want to copy over elements from slice 1 into slice 2, we need to use make. So we'll leave slice 2 here and we'll turn this into a make function. So if I make this, it's going to be an int slice. Let's go with just a length of 3 and an initial capacity of 10. So now our copy function should work. So let's go down here and rerun this. And we get slice 2 has 1, 2, 3. And just to prove that it's doing the minimum of the two lengths of either slice, let's change this to a 2 for its length. Run this again and we get 1, 2 is copied into the slice 2, but 3 is left out. Now let's cover slices of slices. So up here, we're going to have slice 1, and actually we'll only remove these lines. Again, like in all of our other examples, we have 1, 2, 3. But let's say I want to have a sub slice of this slice, or maybe a smaller version of this slice. What I can do here is I can have slice 2 is going to be equal to slice 1. And what we can do by slicing the slice, which means that we're just taking a subset of it, is that it takes in one number at the beginning, then you split it with a colon, and then it takes in another number at the end. Our first number is the start index to copy from, and then our last number is the exclusive index, which we will go up to but not include in the copying. So here it's going to start at index 0, which is 1, and then it'll go to index 1, which is 2, and then it reaches index number 2. But since this is an exclusive index in the slice notation, we're not going to copy 3 over, so we'll just get 1, 2 into slice 2. So let's go ahead and print out slice 1, and then we'll also print out slice 2. Save, run this, and there we go. We got 1, 2, 3 in our slice 1, and then slice 2 has 1, 2. Now what this is actually doing is just creating another pointer to this area in memory. We cannot independently modify slice 2 and not affect slice 1. So if I go to do slice 2 at sub 0, so the very first element, which would be 1 from slice 1, and we change it to -1, let's see what happens. We see that now slice 1 first element is -1, and also so is slice 2. So when you create slices of other slices, you're sharing the same memory. So be careful when modifying slices of slices. To give more context around making slices, the first index does not always have to be 0. It can be 1, it can be 2, as long as it's within the bounds of the slice. But you also don't need to include it at all. So if I change this to just a colon and then 1. To the left of the colon, it's going to assume that you want the very beginning of the slice, and you'll go all the way up to, but not including, the exclusive index that you have given. So let's save this and see what it prints out. We get 1, 2, 3, and then 1 because it had an implicit 0 right here, and then got to the first index, excluded it, and then ended the copy. We can do the inverse, so we can have any sort of number here at the beginning and then have an empty at the end, which means that we will go all the way to the end of the slice and include that very last index. So let's actually change this to a 1 and let's see what happens. So we got 1, 2, 3 in our original, and then we skipped over the first index because we gave the number 1 and it copied through the rest of the slice. Now, if you just want an entire copy of the slice, then you can just do a single colon, which means that we will go from the very beginning of the slice all the way to the end. And so we have the same slice. And in fact, if you go ahead and do the slice 1 equals slice 2 with the slices package, you will get true. So if you want a truly independent copy of a slice, you're going to have to use the make function and copy. So just to demonstrate this, we'll do slice 2 is make with an int, and we'll have 3 with capacity of 10. And we'll say slice 2, or we'll just do copy into slice 2 given slice 1. And then we'll modify slice 2's first element to be -1. So when we go to run this, slice 1 maintains its original data, while slice 2 gets a new copy of the data and its own copy of it, and can therefore modify without affecting the previous or the original owner of the data. Next, let's say you need to give an array over to a function, but you only have a slice. Well, we can convert slices over to arrays. Again, we'll keep the slice 1 up here, and then we'll create an array below it. So I have array that is equal to an array of size 2, and remember that this is a data type, this is not some constructor, so we have to use type conversion here, and we can give it slice 1. We can remove all of this and give slice 1 over here, and then let's change this to array and let's see what happens. So if I run it, slice 1 stays the same, and then we copied over the contents of slice 1 over into the array, and that means that we can also modify the array independently of the slice. So I'll change the first element in the array to -1. We go ahead and run this, and they have 2 different first elements. When you go to do this, you cannot have a longer or larger length of an array than of what the slice is. So I cannot make this 10 and then save and run it, because we will go ahead and get a panic that happens. It must be the same exact length as a slice that you're about to convert. Now, converting from an array into a slice is very similar. Let's have this array right here, and it's going to be containing the values 1 and 2, and we will no longer need this slice right here. Instead, what we'll do is we'll say slice is equal to the array, and if we just want to copy the entire array, we can just use actually the slice notation and just put in the colons. So we can put in the colon, so it does from the very beginning index all the way to the end. So now slice is there. Let's go ahead and run this, and we get slice and array hold the same exact contents. We can also specify again using the slicing notation that we just learned that we can copy from the first element over. Let's run this again just to make sure, and we get that our slice contains only 2 while our array still holds 1 and 2. And that's it for this video. By now, you should almost be an expert in slices. You know how to copy, clear, and you know that when you modify a subslice of a slice, that it will modify its original slice. And you know how to convert from a slice to an array and array to slice. So if you're here by the end of this video, I want to thank you for watching. I encourage that you go like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.